Let's get both my chats out. I really need to start wearing my glasses so I can see this stuff. We may have had a southern shift in snow. Believe it or not. This stuff can happen. I like my headphones on because I like to hear myself, but right now we're going to go no headphones. It helps me hear how loud I am to you guys. What's going on, chat? I'm going to let everyone get in here and then we'll get started. What's going on, chat? Smile, chat. Just kidding. Da, 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 da. Come on, I need to do something this February. 1 second, guys. We're just gonna let some people get in here. We're gonna get started. I literally have been streaming for 2 minutes, so just give me 1 second. First, Tyler, you were first. Do you think the triad might get some snow? We're gonna go over all this in a second. Maybe. One second, getting started. 1 second, guys. What do you mean by the triad? Like in Texas? Yeah, I don't want these on yet. It did shift a little bit. Tyler. Listen, I think this is the HRRR. I think this is too far to the south, so don't worry. Most models aren't agreeing with this huge southern shift. I'm just showing you guys this because this is a short range model that should do pretty good, and it's an interesting what's happening here. But I'm on the north side of Houston. Snowing now, and moved in sooner than reported. Yes, it did. The local news weatherman have upped the amount by 1 or 2 inches. Possible. It's snowing right now in Houston. Interesting. I guess maybe northern Houston. Are you in northern Houston? Maybe northern metro Houston. Downtown Houston doesn't look like it's snowing, but I guess it could be. Sometimes snow flurries move pretty far through the air, so you don't have to be right under the convection to get some snow. I did hear it was moving in a little bit quicker than thought. I would think Houston would still be getting some mixing. That's interesting, though. Anyone else in Houston that can confirm it's snow? Oh, sorry. Was my voice too... Sorry, guys. You probably couldn't hear me. Can anyone else confirm that it's snowing in Houston? On our... let me look at some things real here. Sometimes you don't see it on the radar. There is... northwestern Houston looks like it may be getting some snow already. Northern metro Houston. So let me look here. Interesting. Interesting already, huh? Light snowflakes, northeast. Yeah. Light. I'm assuming central to southern Houston isn't getting much, but I can see, but maybe some flakes. Farther north you go, north into the west and east, all of farther north you go, maybe get some. Yeah, Tallahassee still looks good. We're going to go over all this stuff. Okay, I'll get started. Guys. This helps me make sure I'm not screaming into my mic. All right. What's going on, everyone? Let's look at some of our updates. All right. First, we're going to look at a couple new models real quick. 00Z. Let's head down to South Central first. All right. Let's head down to South Central. So, new projection. Now, this just seems off. I think you're going to get snow in here. But and the HRRR is really crunching this snow down. I think that's off too. You can see what it did, what it wants to do. It wants 7 to 8 inches into Tallahassee. I don't know. I don't know. I think a few is the most that Tallahassee gets. But we're going to look at a few things here. We're going to look at a few things here. NAM 12K. Doing crazy stuff over there. See 0 into Tallahassee, 0 into Jacksonville. The new HRRR wants some in Jacksonville. They can't agree over here. They can't agree in here. They all agree in here. They consistently we've seen this disagreement out here and disagreement out here, but they all seem to agree in the middle. So, you know, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, over to Lake Charles, Lafayette. I think you guys are fine. Interesting, this disagreement. Let's go over into our NAM 3K real quick. NAM 3K, I think, is treating us better. We're not, although I don't think you're going to get 4 inches of snow in Atlanta. That's a little wild. I think the NAM's treating this area better. Wow. This is, guys, I'm looking at all the updated models for the first time. There's so much disagreement, and we're in the short range. Holy crap. There's always disagreement. This is on another level. This is on another level. This is on another level of disagreement. Holy crap. I'm going to make calls on my own just from what I think. But holy crap. Let me see what our updated temperatures are real quick. Oh, you guys are still a little bit warm in Houston as well. Are you sure it's snowing and it's not? I mean, yeah, northern. I guess we could see snow falling. Your mid layers are probably cold from all that cold air pushing in above or from the north. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of things to look at, guys. There's so much model disagreement. I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's do this. Let's look at our national blend. This is a good place to start. The national blend takes all of the models into consideration. And I think I like what the national blend is doing out here. I like what the national blend is doing in Texas. I think this is a more realistic look. The HRRR putting basically no snow down into Houston. It's supposed to be our best short range model. I throw that in the trash. DOK, Brittany, Teeny, period. Yali, Alisa, what is going on? I appreciate you guys. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna start answering questions. I just want to start off with what do I expect with the latest updates? Misty, what's going on? I appreciate you. So I do think this is more realistic. Now you are right. I know we had you know, some precipitation starting earlier than expected into southeastern Texas. So I like what the national blend does here, 1 to 3 inches. Maybe we push that to 2 to 4 for you guys in here. Maybe. Still gonna have some mixing issues near the coast. I still, like I said before, like I've said consistently, like my just north of Houston and out to the east of Houston. I think north metro to northeast metro Houston and out to the east towards Louisiana's gonna see the most. You're gonna get mixing on the south side here. But this isn't, I don't think this isn't a terrible look. You can see what the Euro does. This is our 18Z. 1 second, guys. 18Z deterministic. Sorry, let's put this into, here we go. This is what we want to see. That's what our Euro does. Our Euro still thinks, 4 to 5. I think our Euro's doing a pretty good job in here, but it's slightly above. Okay, pushing into Louisiana. I think I like our national blend more than the Euro as well. So, central Louisiana to the south. Now, the coastline is going to see a little bit more mixing. It says 3 inches along the coastline. I'd say 1 to 2. But your central South Louisiana, really from Lake Charles all the way east to Baton Rouge, maybe even down in New Orleans, yeah, I 3 to 6 I think is possible. It really is. Someone's going to overperform in here. There's going to be a really, really heavy band of snow in here, and someone could pop out 7 or 8 inches. But it's not going to be the whole area. So when you see this like 6.6, someone's going to set up. But that band could set up a little bit to the north or to the south. But I do like what the national blend is doing with our snow here. National blend short range should be very good. And then again, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, I could get on board with this 2 to 3 inches. I'm glad these models are taming themselves a little bit. I was really annoyed when I saw 8 to 9 inches across this region, 10 inches across this region. But if one of you gets 10 inches in here, I give you full permission to curse me out in my inbox. All right, let's go down to the southeast. I like how the National Blend handles this, so I'm just going to be honest. I actually think we'll get a little bit higher snow totals in Tallahassee, though, than this. And I do think there's a possibility to actually maybe get an inch of snow on the ground in Jacksonville. A possibility. I give it 30-40% a possibility. So I'm gonna get the answering chat in a second, guys. So now that we're pushed out towards the Panhandle, I would say 1 to 3 through the Panhandle. There's going to be a band where someone gets more than that. And if you're on the coast, someone on the coastline is going to get less because you're just going to get sleet. But on average, especially inland, 1 to 3 is reasonable. Someone could pop out 4 or 5 inches in the Panhandle, depending on how our heaviest snow bands form. But I said 2 to 3 really, and then out towards Tallahassee 1 to 2. But we'll see. I know there's some people talking about 5-6 inches in Tally. You know what we should look at really quickly here? Let's go into here we go. What does our National Weather Service think? From what I've just given out, it pretty much agrees with me. Possibly 3 to 4 into Houston, and then Lake Charles over to Baton Rouge, 5 to 6. Down here near the coast. Now I don't know. I don't agree with 5 inches. 3 to 5 inches as far south down here, but it's possible. It's possible. Tallahassee 1 to 2. Yeah, look at this. 1 to 3 through here. Oh my gosh, National Weather Service. I agree with them this time. I didn't agree with them last time, and it worked out for me, but I agree with them this time. Still like this look out here. For 1 to 3, depending on where you are. There's going to be banding that puts heavy snow down here. I do think we may actually have a chance for a little bit of accumulation in Jacksonville. I do think we may see a little bit of snow shift to the south there, but we'll have to see. Just a dusting is kind of what I've been thinking the whole time. But the HRRR shifted so far south. I want to give it a little bit of credibility, or I don't know. I just have a feeling we may get a little bit more snow down there. But yeah, I think this map is doing pretty well, actually. You guys want to see the high ends? Here's your high ends. 10 inches in Louisiana, 5 to 6 inches into Houston, potentially an inch into Atlanta, potentially a half inch to an inch into Charlotte. This is high ends. This is a 10% chance or less of happening. 4 to 5 down the coast of North Carolina, definitely a 10% chance or less of happening. And then again, really, Savannah. I mean, here, I know a lot of people have asked about Savannah. They have Savannah in an inch right now. I think Savannah could outperform there. I think a lot of these areas out here could do a little bit better than what they're saying. So this HRRR is on some, just HRRR smoking something. Let's just say that. I like the way this National Blend looks. So we're going to look at this for now, because this is kind of how I would draw my snow map, except for I'd actually take these totals and push them up. Just push all these totals up by like an inch. That's what I would do. So even down to Tallahassee, push it up an inch or two. Push this up an inch. Push this up an inch. Take all these totals, push it up an inch. That's kind of where I'd have my totals at, except for I think it's doing a pretty good job in here. I think 5 to 6 is realistic. I don't want that to be 7 to 8. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get into chat. Let me take a sip of this and let's go. Can you sprinkle some snow in Birmingham, Alabama? Guys, we're gonna have some random snow showers that drift off to the north, and you're gonna have a good snow ratio. Someone up here is gonna see like a surprise inch. Someone up here is gonna see a surprise inch, but it's gonna be locally. It's definitely not gonna be everyone. It's gonna be like 10% of that circle is gonna see a surprise inch to the north, but it's just gonna be scattered snow showers. You don't agree on the North Carolina? It's underestimating. Well, that's what I said. I said add an inch. So I actually do think you could have 2 to 3 inches here still. I would add an inch to the National Blend. There's no other model that really has it how I would have it, though. I guess unless the NWS does a pretty good job, but it still underestimates in some areas. The NWS does a pretty good job still underestimating in some areas, though. So I'll keep this. I do really like the NWS model right now, so I'll keep this up for now just to show you guys. I try to show you keep on screen the one. Once I look through the models, the one I think is the most realistic outcome. And I didn't love the NWS last time, but I do like this one. Yali Dewan, Ray, what's going on? Angela, Sandy, Juliet, I appreciate you. Let's get to chat. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina snow totals. Well, they are expecting 1 to 2 inches up the coast in South Carolina. National Blend likes that too. I feel like they're taking the National Blend this time. I feel like that's what they're doing. Last time they were taking the Euro. This time they're taking the National Blend. I'm telling you. Mick Ratchtalk. I appreciate you. Missy Ann. Sorry, let me look at something really quickly here. Where'd my... Okay. There's a shower support supposed to go through him in LA at 10. All right. 10 minutes from now. Here's our live radar, guys. You can see, I mean, this banding, guys. Is anyone up here right to the north of Houston? So, Livingston, from Brenham up to Livingston, I'd expect maybe some decent snow falling there right now in that band. I think some of this down here is actually still going to be mixing. I'd expect some decent snow to be falling up here through this band. If anyone's there. Remember, the front of this stuff, you could see rain. You know, if we look at our current temperatures, especially Louisiana, southern Louisiana, look at we're 35 to 40 degrees still. You can snow in that, but it's you may get a little bit of rain and mixing on the front end. It can snow in above 32 degrees, but you're not going to get great stick, you know, great accumulation. Look at the NAM shift is the NAM shifted, like I think the NAM shifted crazy far north or something. The NAM has been doing terrible all season. I've been telling everyone not to trust the NAM. Yeah, the NAM. Yeah, the NAM. God, Charlotte people really want the NAM to happen. The NAM wants an inch into Charlotte. The NAM wants snow into Atlanta, Charlotte, all of upstate South Carolina. I will tell you this. I've seen in my past, in my over a decade staring at weather models, the NAM disagree with every single model, and one out of every 10 times, it ends up being right. So I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because sometimes, however the NAM algorithm works, sometimes it catches onto something that nothing else sees. North American model. Sometimes it catches onto something. So if you guys want any hope up there in Charlotte, and you guys want 7 inches of snow, 7 inches of snow on the coast of North Carolina, you better pray to the weather gods that our NAM model is correct. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen it weirdly be correct sometimes when it does this thing and it starts to disagree with everyone, but there's not a very good chance of this being correct. But we'll entertain it for a second. You want to entertain it for a second? Someone's going to come into my live right now and be like, what model is he showing? No one else is showing this. Yeah, Connor, I know. Sleet here in Southwest Houston. That's what I thought you'd be having right now. Red, I appreciate that update. I love getting the information on the ground. How bad does it look for this? I mean, you're having bad lake effect snow in upstate New York, but outside of lake effect snow, you guys aren't getting anything. When will be the next time Dallas gets snow? Listen, if I don't see snow in the next week and a half, anything signal for snow, I can't tell you because I don't have a crystal ball. But if I were to give you my best guess, the latter half of February is gonna be good again for the South, Central, and East, I think. You know? Okay, I don't want you guys to look at that too long because people are gonna get their hopes up. But I would say that I've seen the NAM weirdly be correct in a situation like that. It's just so rare. So I wouldn't take that too seriously. Willie Ruxin G, I appreciate you guys. McDonough, Georgia. We're getting down to, oh gosh, here we go again. Here we go. You better not be close to a major city. Oh, that's McDonough, Atlanta. McDonough. Oh, is that what you said? McDonough, Georgia or Texas? Oh, you did say Georgia, didn't you? So, okay. So just southeast of Atlanta. That's The NAM would put a ton of snow on you guys, but again, we're not really believing the NAM too much. You guys aren't expected to get much. You could get a surprise inch. Your snow ratio is going to be much better up there than it is to the south, so you don't need it to snow as long to get as much of an accumulation. Could the storm shift north once it organizes? Misty, it's not going to shift north much. The shifting's done. What could happen is you could have our low deepen a little bit further, and it could pull a lot more snow into the north. The NAM sees like a shift north, but it sees the precipitation shifting north. Not as much the storm system, but yeah, you guys can see it thinks you're getting like 4 inches of snow into Shreveport right now, but this snow isn't reaching the surface. We can see that better when we go into our reflectivity. Actually, it has reflectivity up there, but I don't. Anyone here in Shreveport, are you getting absolutely dumped on? Let's go into radar-based reflectivity. Doesn't look like it. All right, let me get back in here, guys. Appreciate the follows. I appreciate the subs, guys. Thanks. Maybe I'll hit 100K before the end of this month. Just hopping on. Is San Antonio in San Antonio just getting icy rain? Yep. Expect it. Baltimore is not really supposed to see anything from the system, but we'll see. There's a little bit of time for a shift up there, but I don't expect any. Jacksonville, Florida, the HER model thinks you're going to get 2 inches, and it's a good short-range model, but I'd have to agree with the NWS, which is what we're looking at here. I don't think you get... I think there's maybe a 30% chance you get an inch of accumulation in Jacksonville. So that's not a bad... That's a high chance for accumulation in Florida, right? No, I don't expect this to impact Jersey. It's not out of the question, but I don't expect this to impact. This may make it up to Virginia Beach. That's about it. Mr. Miyagi, Katrina, Hillary. Thank you, guys. It's like Dippin' Dot snow awesome right now. Yeah. Grapple. That's what it's called. You got freezing temperatures up at the 250 millibar layer of your troposphere. You have snow falling. Then it goes through a very warm sector at your 500 millibar mid-layer of your atmosphere in the troposphere, and it melts. And then right before it hits the surface, it tries to freeze back into snow, and it's landing as this is what can cause freezing rain. But freezing rain's a little bit different. Freezing rain is more a lot of warm air above you, and then it's cold right at the surface. With grapple, it's going to be cold, warm, cold, and you get Dippin' Dot, bouncy ice. Yeah, that stuff can look like it's accumulating quickly sometimes, though. Can Myrtle Beach overachieve if the sleet doesn't overpower? Yes, it very easily could. That's one of the areas we're watching for a possible overperformance. So, Lafayette, LA, checking in. Look at you guys. The National Weather Service expects you to get 6.5 inches. The National Weather Service also thinks that you have a 10% chance of getting 10 inches. I disagree with the National Weather Service on both this. I think the most you get is 5. But I'm rooting for you guys to get 6 to 7 inches. I don't know, though. You guys might... Actually, maybe I do agree. For the last week, this has been the sector we've been continuously on all models, where all the models have been disagreeing on everything except for this sector. This area, this region that I circled, has been so consistent. So I take back what I said. I think you guys are going to get big snow. Lizzie, okay. Yali, Destiny, I appreciate you guys. I can confirm it's colder than the North Pole in Texarkana, right? It might be right now because friggin' they've got a high. Well, how you can be cold under a high pressure, but they've got above average temperatures up there in the Arctic. Maybe you are colder. Never had it. Yeah. It's kind of rare. You need a lot of different temperatures and different layers of the atmosphere. The GFS and Euro are pushed so far north too. We'll take a look at that. I have tons of friends in Charlotte, so I would not mind being incorrect. And well, I'm saying there is a chance for Yeah. The Euro pushed a little bit north. Yep. And then the GFS, I've been calling for the push north for quite a while, but it hasn't been happening. Well, it happened in the beginning. It did. When I originally said the Euro was going to shift north, it did. And the GFS, but then it stopped. We are seeing a shift north, slightly on the GFS, slightly on the Euro, slightly on the NAM. And the good news is for people Atlanta through upstate and Charlotte, as I've been saying, is all it takes, except for on the front end of the system, on the whole mid and back end of the system, you're not going to have freezing rain or mixing. You're going to be cold enough for pure snow, a good snow ratio. Any precipitation that falls is going to accumulate. So a passing snow shower, any little minor shift with this system to the north, any slightly more deepening of this low pressure could drop a surprise amount of snow up to the north. But again, you need to take that with a grain of salt, seriously, because that's not where we're expecting our main blanket of snow to be. So it would be a passing snow shower. So, but that's interesting. Yeah, you're right. That's interesting. We have kind of seen all those shift a tiny bit to the north. Brandy, I appreciate you. Show NAM GFS Euro more viewers. I know, right? I don't know though. There's people in here in like Jacksonville and Savannah that don't want to see that. Valdosta, Tallahassee, that screws all them over. So, but I know I easily could. I mean, if I wanted the most viewers right now, I would probably sit. What model? What the heck am I showing? Look, the GFS. I should just sit on the GFS. Look at this. A foot into Louisiana, snow into like. That's the model I would sit on if I just wanted to milk for viewers. This one, this NAM is pretty interesting as well. The NAM 00Z, right? For a lot of those bigger cities and the North Carolina coast. Oh, you guys can't see that. There you go. That's pretty interesting as well. So, but again, I like this model. That's why I'm sitting on this model right now. I don't want to be showing you guys an outcome that I don't expect. Now, again, just to remind everyone, snow does not, we're not going to have a blanket of snow like this. That's just going to perfectly move over this region, and it's going to give everyone exactly what this is showing. Over performances, you're going to get someone, even in this yellow area where say the NWS expects 6 to 7 inches. You could have a patch in here of 3 inches because you get a band that sets up right to your north, right to your south. It's not like temperatures. When temperatures move into a region, we knew you were going to get below freezing temperatures down here, and temperatures moving in a mass area. Everywhere here is going to get below freezing. Precipitation doesn't work like that. Precipitation is very localized, guys. So, I always get these people in the comments that are like, you told me I was going to get 3 inches. I only got 1 inch. And I'm like, yeah, 5 miles to your west, they got 3 inches. I'm sorry that I cannot forecast down to your doorstep. Like, no one can. You forecast with precipitation into regions. So you can forecast up to your doorstep usually in temperatures because they're macro events. Again, this real state of air in the troposphere is very variable. You're going to have different bands set up. This is it's an ongoing thing. It's forever changing. Weather is not static. I appreciate the follows and the sub. Thank you guys. GFS is having 5 to 6 inches in Myrtle would be a blessing. I know, Tyler. I really, guys, I love snow, and I'm up. Although I just got like 4 inches, but I really care about the South getting snow more than where I live, because I grew up in the South. I grew up in Florida for 22 years. Then I lived in LA for 4 years. Then I lived in Charlotte, where actually 2021 we got like 6 inches, which was awesome. But I pretty much saw no snow my entire life. Well, I traveled, but where I lived. So I want you guys to get snow down there. DOK, I appreciate you. And Misty. All eyes on 00Z. Yep. Yeah. So Mama Kitty, this is what we've been talking about. There's a slight trend with some models. God, this is more messy than the last system. I thought the last system was not agreeing. The HRRR, our best short range model, shifted snow to the south and completely erased any chances of snow in upstate South Carolina, Atlanta, up to Charlotte. But then our NAM Euro GFS shifted snow to the north, completely disagreeing with each other. I am showing this because I think our national blend is treating this the best. Still giving a chance for snow up here, including through Charlotte. We'll see. It wants to keep it just south, but it's focusing the heaviest snow, I think where it should be in this region. So, but yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff happening. We actually have models separating snow in this region. We have models going north, and we have models going south with the snow. So frustrating. But what do I think? I think this is still handling it right. I have to pick one that I think is the best, and this is the one. Looking at all of our models and how these models handle things at different time frames, I still think that I disagreed a little bit. If you guys remember on my stream a couple nights ago with the National Weather Service, with where they were putting snow or how much snow they were putting in the Northeast. But I think they're doing a good job with this one. Gene and Tina, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, the new models do want to give Atlanta more of a chance for snow. Atlanta could see a surprise inch. I wouldn't expect Atlanta to get more than an inch. But you're going to have a good snow ratio. So if you get a good snow shower to pass through that lingers around, it's going to pile up really quickly. So that's your hope of getting more than an inch. But, God, the HRRR is a great snow model and wants to keep everything to the south of you. Horrible disagreement out there. Again, our greatest agreement has continued to be through here consistently. All models have continued really through here as well. This region is just a mess forecasting right now. I almost don't even want to touch it, but I've got to talk about it. What do the colors mean? Your lightest blue is a dusting to like a half inch. Possible. This dark blue is going to be 1 to 2 inches. Then, okay, so I'll show you. This is, let's say, dusting, so 0.1 to 1. This is 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This right here is 3 to 4. This right here is 4 to 5. This right here is 5 to 6. So, yeah. Virginia Beach getting 4 to 6 would be, yeah, not impossible. HRRR is lying. It's an op. I feel like it is an op. It's been an op lately. So sad that we are 24 to 38 hours out and there's this much disagreement. It is, Colton. It is. We at least had 24 hours out, good agreement on the northeastern storm. Not snow totals, but they started to align with where they wanted snow. Right at the end in the last 24 hours, they all shifted back out east and put snow back into central New Jersey, back into Long Island, back into Boston. They got this wrong a little bit down at the bottom, but at least they all got it wrong together. They agreed. They all still thought 2 to 3 inches from Dallas, from DC to Maryland, and they all got it wrong together. But I'd rather see agreement and be wrong than no agreement at all. The models got it pretty good within 24 hours of that one. Yeah, there's zero understanding of this right now. But to be honest, there's zero understanding right here to the west. NAM wants no snow here. Neither does the HRRR. No snow in this circled area. Crazy. It's snowing, right? It's happening right now. How have you not made up your mind? Hello, HRRR NAM, just pull up the radar, readjust your data. Like, this is an ongoing situation. Okay, we're getting some decent snow through this corridor. Some stuff up here. So if Columbia gets 1 to 2, it'll be melted by the morning. Not necessarily. I mean, our temperatures aren't gonna immediately warm up that quickly, are they? Down there? I don't think so. You guys want to see what's here? Let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Your temperatures stay cold. I mean, your snow could technically stick around until Thursday, Friday if you get enough. It could technically stay around until the weekend if you get enough. So I wouldn't worry that much. Marlena, I appreciate you. Tina, thank you. Guys, the video I uploaded today was our February outlook. If you want to go see what I think is going to happen in February, and to summarize it, we're going to warm up a little bit in the east. They're going to cool down a little bit in the west. I think we're going to have a more active storm track through parts of the Ohio Valley up into the Midwest. I think we're going to get an active storm track back into the northern plains. Not really a storm track, an active storm track back into the Midwest and northern plains. And I think we're going to see some moisture move back into Pacific Northwest to cool down in the west, to warm up in the east, at least to start February, the first couple months of February, or a couple weeks of February, couple months. Third, fourth week, I think that trend flips again. Our AO is going to be positive. Our Arctic oscillation is going to be positive for a little bit in February. It's going to build up some cold air again, and we might have some slippage as we move into March, which is why I'm very concerned with having a very, very bad severe weather or possibly tornado outbreak or tornado season. So, let's see. One second, guys. Can you zoom in on Houston? Yeah, 1 second. Not all Houstonians curious about the outlook. All right, give me a second. I remember you saying this would move north. Good call. Yeah, it's starting to look like an even better and better call as this thing can, as with these models shifting north. We'll see. I thought it would have happened already, though. I'm sitting around here twiddling my thumbs like, guess I'm wrong. But we're starting to see some model shift north again, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, Houston National Weather Service likes 3 to 4 still. Likes 4.5 into Houston. I don't know. Central and southern Houston. I don't know. I would shift this to the north. I think you're going to struggle in here. I think the heaviest snow is going to be right here to the north. I think central to southern Houston might only see 2 or 3, but again, overall, I like the National Weather Service outlook. That's why we're looking at this one. So I think there's some credence to this. So I appreciate you, Yali. Imagine going on vacation to New Orleans or Destin for warm weather, only to have cold weather and snow. Hilarious, I know. Charlotte is right off the cutoff. Yeah, Cade, but there are models that still put snow into Charlotte. So this is not, what you're looking at is not written in stone. This is the best projection right now. But the model disagreement for me is really frustrating because I want to give you guys answers, and there's a lot of different solutions right now. But for you guys just north of this snow line, the model disagreement is great for you because the reason we have so much disagreement is because there's still models that want 1 inch of snow or 2 inches of snow up here, which is just crazy to see that. We're talking about thousands of miles difference in these models. I mean, there's like you have the NAM that wants the southern snow line to be here. The HRRR wants it to be here. What's this distance? I mean, I feel like our models are regressing, guys. You know? Are hurricane hunters sending in equipment to the storm to get better awareness tonight? You know, you don't need planes when the weather is over the surface because short-range radars can get all of that detection. Short-range radars and weather balloons. The reason we use hurricane hunters for hurricanes is because we do not have short-range powerful radars or weather balloons out in the middle of the ocean. All we have is satellite data. So the planes fly into it, drop all these barometric pressure readers, take readings, send it back to our weather service or the weather center or weather stations where we can actually see, okay, as this object fell, how did the temperature change with altitude? How did the pressure change with altitude? How did the winds change with altitude? Okay, we know what's going on in the storm. Wind direction, wind speed, wind shear, vertical change in wind direction, speed with height. So that's why we need planes when they're over the ocean. We just don't, but we have the equipment here on the land. We don't need that. Philly outlook. Listen, I spoke about it yesterday in my live. And I'm holding to it. I said the 26th to the 29th. We may be looking like the 28th to the 31st. I said I expect one more winter storm out east before January is over. It does look like that's going to happen. Some models want to bring that through Tennessee and Virginia, possibly northwestern North Carolina, up through the DMV. Some models want to bring that through the Ohio Valley, higher through the Ohio Valley to the north, and then through Philly and New York City. I'll show you guys that really quickly, and then we'll get back. So this is what I was talking about, just based off our EPO and NAO that wanted to stay neutral to negative through the end of January. Really quickly, this is probably, I'm willing to say this is probably going to happen, but we don't know exactly how it's going to play out. So the Euro still has it, I think, on this one. Okay, so the Euro still has the snow on its 18Z, actually pretty far south right here. You can see our Euro 12Z likes it as well. Farther to the north, right? This would be a mid-Atlantic. This would be a mid-Atlantic, potentially New England system. Your GFS likes it as well. Mid-Atlantic DMV type of system. And you look at your 18Z of your GFS. Big snow for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So what model was I looking at earlier that went crazy with this? Man, there was one model that wanted to absolutely go insane with this system next week. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, no, that's not happening. Was it the GFS 18 or the 6Z? But yeah. And then you can see it wants multiple snow systems through like Iowa up towards the Midwest, stuff like that. So anyways, that's what's going on with that. I expect another winter storm out east before January is over, so we need more time for that, though. It's so far out, I don't want to give anyone any crazy projections. Jules, I appreciate you. Today feels like Christmas Eve. Wait. Your Connor's Climate Corner is the best? How is that your username? I see. Now I have to answer all of your questions. That's such a lit username. Could we get a dusting in Dallas? Yes, you could. There's snow falling above your heads in Dallas right now. It's just not reaching the surface. Look at you guys. Look at you guys in Dallas, Fort Worth. You guys got to be so sad. You see this? Look at my Radar Omega at the bottom of the screen if you're on TikTok. On the left side if you're on YouTube. Look at all that snow above you. It's evaporating before it hits the ground. Connor can't sit down like me right now. I don't even think the storm is forecastable. I know. Unforecastable storm, guys. Sorry. No. His username is literally Connor's Climate Corner is the best. So lit. Do you know about the areas around the Gulf of Mexico? You mean the Gulf of America? It's too soon. Listen. I'm going to have to start saying that. Geography and the names of locations is very important in meteorology. I'm going to have to start saying the Gulf of America, like right after that's signed. What do you guys think? I think it has a nice ring to it. Why not? Why not? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states on it. Gulf of America. Okay. What is it showing for Fayetteville now? A lot of snow. That's what it's showing. You guys, let me actually look at our reflectivity real quick. Beaumont, looks like you got a little snow falling just to your north. This is going to be moving into Lake Charles soon. There's a pretty nice band there. We've got some nice banding going on right up towards Brenham, Woodlands. I don't know if anyone's in Woodlands. You guys might have some snow falling right there right now. Yeah, southeast of Shreveport. There's some precipitation falling just to the south of New Orleans, but I don't think that's snow. I do not think that is snow. Okay. I appreciate the follows and the subs, guys. Thank you. It was signed. Too soon, but it's 24 hours out, right? It's freezing in Fayetteville. Yeah. Guys, I want to tell you this right now. This is exciting. I mean, listen, first off, I want to preface this by saying if you're in, especially really, if you're anywhere here, right, it doesn't matter, or even down here because freezing rain, I hope you plan on your power going out. Not all of your power is going to go out. Some people are going to remain with power. Great, fantastic. But if you still have time, if you're ahead of this thing, which you still have a little bit of time, prepare like the power's going out. Bottled water in case you end up having to boil your water, which happens in these storms sometimes, or pipes freeze. Bottled water, extra food, batteries in an emergency kit. Some people will get stuck at home. I'm telling you, weird things happen in these systems, and you can see people unalived. I have to say that because it's TikTok, but 99.9999% of everyone's going to be fine. But you need to treat it like you're going to lose power with a. This is an historic. I wasn't just clickbaiting. This is an historic southern snowstorms. We're going to see, but what I mean by that is there are going to be areas, not everyone, there are going to be areas that set all-time records for whether it be freezing rain, snow records. We're going to see all-time snow records. And infrastructure down here is not built for this. This is what you call like a once-a-century storm for certain people. Some people are going to be, specifically, I want to highlight this area, but also we need to watch what happens over here to the east of this area, because there are some models that want ridiculous amounts of snow still through some portions over here, the Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, southeastern Georgia, and then the coastline in North Carolina, South Carolina. You need to prepare like you're going to lose power. So no one down here really has fuel heat at homes, but if you do, you should have a bunch of extra fuel. So that being said, though, this is exciting. This is an historic event. Someone in freaking South Louisiana is going to wake up with like 8 inches of snow on their front doorstep. There's got to be some people in some of these areas, right, that don't like have cable television, right? And they're just like old school, and they're just going to like go to bed and wake up and be like, what the heck? They're going to be like, what's all this snow? Right? There's got to be someone here who has no idea this is coming. I can't even imagine. Okay. I can be like, Bobby, come see this. We got a foot of snow outside. No, we don't, Mom. It's goddamn New Orleans. Something like that's going to happen. Do I get some decent snow in Wilmington, North Carolina? Again, that's like the hardest place to project right now. I think high end 2 inches, low end dusting is still your most likely. If I had no choice but to guess, I'd say you're going to get an inch there. But the models are super torn everywhere, pretty much here east. It's very frustrating. I mean, and not just torn a little bit, like, oh, some up here, some up here. It's like, hey, inch up here, or hey, inch down here. Like, they're super split. Connor, the national blend of models is based off of like data 2 runs ago. This could be inaccurate since it doesn't show new data. Colton, this is not the national blend. This is the NWS. This is the NWS. You can see when our national blend. So here we go. This is the 00Z of our national blend. It's not based off 2 to 3 runs ago. I would rather a national blend if it was based off. I'd rather a national blend based off 3 models ago than believing fully the Euro or fully the GFS or anything like that, or fully the NAM. Because at least you're putting 100 different model runs through it, right? And I don't know. That's a pretty good look, I think, for this system. I'm going to go back after, and I'm going to look at this national blend run, and we're going to see how close it got, and then maybe I'll change my mind. The fish in the Gulf of America are going to go insane. Can you show the percentage? I mean, oh, yeah. We haven't showed that in a while. The problem with the national blend, though, is showing with all those models. No, yeah, that was an NWS model. But look, the national blend almost agrees with it. Look how similar they are. With our, let's go into, here's our national blend, NWS, national blend. Like, at least where the snow was falling, it's pretty, like, look where that heavy snow band is. I really like it. They're really agreeing. So, which is good to see. At least those are agreeing. That's why we're taking these seriously. We can go to percentage really quickly here. This is always a good thing to look at. So people stop asking me what I think the percentage is, because I hate that's the one question I hate answering, because it's tough. This is from our latest euro. We'll look at our latest euro percentage. Now this did shift a little bit to the north, and I think it might shift a little bit more north based on some of our new models and the new euro. So if you're anywhere in any of these colors here, you've got a chance for snow, an inch or more of accumulation. And this does almost include all the way up to Charlotte and almost Birmingham and Atlanta as well. Now 3+ inches, look at that. 6+ inches. See, this is wrong. This shouldn't be down here on the water. This should be up here. So that's what I'm saying. I'd shift this thing a little bit north. I'd shift this line up here. I'd shift this like this. Pretty much. Of a chance to see. Your blue is going to be at 10% all the way up to your red, which is a 90%. The yellow's about 50. And if we go back over to South Central, you can see it here. How bad is the Canadian model? About as bad as it can get. We're so cooked on this forecast. What did you just say about Shreveport, Louisiana? I said it looks like you guys actually have some precipitation falling there right now. Just to the south? There's been a heavy band of rain just to the south of Shreveport. I think it's snow. Just to the south of Shreveport for a while. This little area right here. I don't know if you guys can see on that in the bottom screen on TikTok and the left side of the screen on YouTube. And I'm wondering what we got going on there, I like to look at the reflectivity, not the winter weather. Look what happens, guys, on Radar Omega when we go to the winter weather. Look, it shows snow for everyone. Bottom screen on TikTok, side screen on this stuff. A lot of this stuff isn't hitting the surface. What is hitting the surface is when we go to reflectivity, likely the areas that you have this green. This is higher cloud tops, a little bit deeper convection. So, you could actually get a tiny bit of snow moving into Fort Worth, tiny bit. It just snowed in Florida. What? Hold up. I mean, there's like scattered snow showers right to the north of the Florida-Georgia line. I could see snowflakes falling in Florida right now, but not like any sort of a... Yeah, I mean, like you could maybe get flakes with this right here, but I don't know. What's our temperatures looking like in Florida right now? What's our temperatures looking like in Florida? Oh yeah. You could get some snowflakes falling in Florida right now. Can you tell me something I don't know about Greenville, South Carolina? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. It's named after Nathaniel Greene, who was a Revolutionary War hero. Not the Green Mountains around it that people say, or the Green... What did it say? Yeah. It's the city's named after a war hero from the Revolutionary War. Did you know that? I'm in Lafayette. Yeah, that Lafayette, Louisiana is the place to be for snow. Bet you never thought I'd say that. Have you heard of the frosted booms? Apparently people in St. Louis, Missouri are getting them. I can't say I have. I'm locking in 1 inch Columbia, 1.5 if it takes a bit. Yeah, that's fine. Do you think Myrtle Beach will overperform? It's in the right location to overperform, based on our wind direction, and some of that moisture that can be pulled in. I want to show you guys a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit really quickly, and I want to show you guys what's going on here with our. Let me show you guys what's going on here. Let's go to our 500 millibar height and wind map. Let's get interesting. 1 second. Let's go back here. Let me fix this. So here's what's going on. Here's our winds. Here's our 500 millibar winds, halfway up the troposphere, halfway up where all the weather happens. You can see, I actually probably want to move this to the Euro. And let's go out a little bit. Let's go to continental. Here's what's going on. We are not just getting some moisture pulled in from the Gulf. We're getting some moisture pulled in over here from the Eastern Pacific. I think some of these models like the HER that want to put 10 inches to a foot into southern Louisiana are really, really expecting this moisture out here to, it's not really a subtropical jet, but it kind of is, are really expecting that Eastern Pacific moisture to enhance the snowfall through here. I don't know. I feel like we're running out of real estate on that. The precipitation did show up a little bit earlier than expected down there in Texas. So maybe the HER picked up on that correctly. But right now you can also see our wind direction. We have westerlies. This will shift shortly. And when it does, and these winds start shifting a little bit more west-southwesterly, meaning a little bit more to the northeast, that's when the snow is really going to crank up, and that's obviously expected to be through Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Because a lot of the moisture, let me zoom in. Let me get in down here. Here we go. Here's your wind direction. This is your wind direction. As soon as we see this begin to tilt up, that's when you're going to see heavier snow totals. When that happens is going to depend on on if you actually do see those high-end foot snow totals into Louisiana and into southern Mississippi. Now, this is the area that most models are agreeing on, and most models are agreeing on that shift happening soon, or that shift happening when we have the most of our convection over this area, most of our moisture over this region. So that's why this area could see a crazy overperformance. But I think that's why coastal, I think there's the potential for your winds to pull in an overperformance as well in coastal South Carolina and in North Carolina. Let me push this back here. My kids are so excited. How much do you think we will get in Pearl River County, Mississippi? Oh, no, I don't know where that is. I'll guess it's Pearl River, Louisiana. Oh, you said Mississippi. Pearl River County. Pearl River County, Mississippi. Ooh, you guys could get a good amount. What's our NWS think? I think, so our NWS thinks about 2. I think you guys could overperform in Pearl River. I think your high end's going to be 4 there. I think your high end could be 4 inches there. 2 low end, 2 to 4. It's snowing like crazy in Killeen. Let's see. Maybe I'm... What state... Some of the... I don't know all these small cities. Oh, Texas? Really? Interesting. Okay. I love having the reports on the ground. Let's look at our let's really quickly look at our windy radar. You know what? This is why you need some reports on the ground, because radar isn't showing heavy snow in Killeen. I don't know how to pronounce that. So let me actually even go back over to here. Sorry guys, I'll get to your questions. Yeah, it's just not showing heavy snow there. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Hoping Virginia Beach overperforms. Yeah, we don't even know what's going to happen in Virginia Beach yet. Snow in Dallas right now? Not likely. There's a little bit of flurries in Fort Worth. Maybe that'll make it over. Oh, you looked on Radar Omega? No, but the thing is, this snow most of this snow isn't reaching the ground that you see. So most of this snow right here, most of this snow is not. Oh, you pulled up the camera. Oh, that's interesting. I see what you're saying. So you pulled this up. I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna. Is that heavy? It's hard to tell if that's heavy or not. I'll do this real quick. Okay, I'm just getting some updates, guys. Some updates. Hold up for me. Okay. It did look like we had some snow falling through the air, so. Again, reflectivity will show us where we're actually getting those bands. It does look like, again, just to the north now of Houston, northern and northwestern Metro Houston is probably getting some decent snow bands. I don't know where. Okay, a lot of people. Okay, really quickly, a lot of people are asking me like small cities. If I take the time to look up every single small city, I'm going to answer one question every 2 minutes, and I'm not going to be efficient. So if you're like to the northwest of Houston or like near San Antonio or like near a bigger city that I might, you know what I mean? Because like little towns, like I don't know every little town, there's like, 10,000 little villages in Texas. So it's going to be really hard for me to answer those quickly. Jules, Elizabeth, Terry, perfectly. Yali, Jay, perfectly. I appreciate you guys. I didn't even see that. For the people of the Carolinas, we will mostly know 12 tomorrow, 12 Z miles tomorrow. Yeah, we shouldn't have to wait that long, but you're right. Garoppolo is getting stronger in Austin. Oh my gosh. That's frustrating. Snowing in Keller on the live feed and Radar Omega. Do I have Keller on here? That's clean. Lafayette. No, doesn't look like really any moisture falling right now. Auburn, Alabama. You'll probably really like the shifts north that we're seeing. I'll show you. Let me show you guys. Let me do this real quickly. A lot of people are asking a ton. It gets really difficult when everyone wants like their specific exactly zip code, especially when you have a lot of people asking about tiny towns that are that I've never heard of. So I'm gonna take a second and re-go over each region here. Let me quickly just take a look at our latest HER model, just for the most updated information. Sorry, this means nothing. Let's get into here. I mean, I try to go and I try to answer a lot of questions like individual cities, but it gets to the point where it's like, then I can't talk to everyone. I have to ignore everyone. Has a new GFS come out yet? Tonight, it's actively coming out right now. Yeah. Imagine that's still to the north. Charlotte people will get excited. Here's the latest. Here's the O2Z of the HRRR. Glad to see it bringing some snow back into Houston. 2 to 3. Again, I don't think we're going to have the snow crunch down this far to the south. I think the snow is going to expand a little bit farther to the north. I think this heaviest snow is going to expand a little bit to the north. I think Lake Charles is going to get way more than 1.5 inches of snow. Although this isn't, yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. Really quickly, let's take a look at. Is the latest GFS loading? The latest GFS is loading. All right, I'm going to show you guys what our different models look like. We're going to go through the issue with forecasting the storm and what I think is most likely to happen. Let's start with our latest HRRR, because I would love to tell you exactly. Here's our temperatures, by the way. I would love to tell you exactly what's going to happen. There's some frustrating model disagreement happening right now, so we're going to go through some of these models just so you guys know the chance you have. Surface, winter. Here we go. So we'll start off right here with our HRRR. Now this should be our best short range model, and it's just not acting like that. By the way, thank you to anyone who has followed. Thank you to anyone who has subbed or gifted or just has been in here and engaged in this. If you don't know who I am, I post updates every single day, weather updates every single day, forecast outlooks, and I live stream every single day, every single night. I do this full time. Well, I don't do this full time. I have a full time job, and I also do this full time. So I'm working 80, 90 hours a week, hoping to do this full time one day. You guys being in here and engaging and following or subbing, that makes me one step closer to my goal. So you guys don't even know how much I actually appreciate it. I really do. Trust me. Knox and Alyssa, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's our most accurate, what should be our most accurate short range model. Okay. A few things I disagree with it on is I think you're going to see more snow through this region around Houston, 2 to 3. It crunches our snow down really far south. Still gives Lake Charles out to Baton Rouge 5 inches, which I think is a realistic outlook. But then it puts like 10 inches into New Orleans, which I think is crazy. I think you're going to see more of a 4 to 6 through this region. But again, it's banding. Snow doesn't move in a perfect blanket. It erases snow in southern Mississippi. I think that's wrong. I think you will get anywhere from 2 to 3. We'll say 1 to 3 in that area of southern Mississippi. As we push into the southeast, I think it treats this okay. Panhandle, I would take these totals down 2 to 3, maybe an inch into Tallahassee. I do think we have the possibility for an inch into Jacksonville. I get 20 to 30% chance for an inch into Jacksonville. And then you can see, oh yeah, I forgot. It does this. Sorry, I need to move this along. Again, this insaneness in Florida, in northern Florida, the HRRR wants to put 5 to 8 inches. I would love for 5 to 8 inches to drop in northern Florida there for you guys. Being realistic, there's going to be lots of mixing and ice in this area. Not all that precipitable water is going to be falling as snow. This is my main area, I-10 in Florida, and then up through Savannah. I'm very nervous. We're going to see some accidents, a lot of power outages. This is where we're going to see a lot of ice, I think, right down in here. So the HRRR gets a little weird here. Our Euro Ensemble is a great model to look at for these storms. I think this is a good look at the model, guys. You know where you are on this map. It does still like 3 to 4 into Houston. I think that's okay. A little higher than I would go. It does still like, we'll say 3 to 5 in this region, which I think is okay. You'll get over performances and snow in that region. Though. You'll get some over 5, I think. This is where I definitely agree with it on 1.5 from Tallahassee out west. Tallahassee is going to be a little bit sketchy. We'll see how much it gets, but I think it does good there. I think overall the European Ensemble does well. It's kind of like the National Blend. It's kind of showing what the National Weather Service is showing. So I think this is a really really good look at the snow. I don't think we're gonna have as big a blanket right here in southern Georgia. This is definitely gonna be a lot more sporadic on where the snow falls. And I'd expect max 3 inches, but it's pretty good. You can see the European ensembles do like some snow up here. Another thing I want to show you guys, and this is always interesting, we can go and look at our panels. And we can look at every single time the Euro ran this new data we got, what did the different runs come out of? These are all the possible outcomes from our best snow forecasting model. Now, let me explain to you. Let me just explain to you some of these outcomes on the Euro. You've got this one pretty far set. This one's pretty much the one we just looked at. This one's in agreement. This one does not like as much snow. This one does not like as much snow. This one wants heavy snow. This one right here wants heavy snow central to southern Georgia and like over 8 inches up and down the North Carolina and South Carolina coast. That, again, that's one of the runs. That's what it came up with. Same with this one. Likes big snow along the coast. Likes big snow along the coast. This one, like right here, likes more snow into Atlanta. This one right here likes most snow into Atlanta and big snow along the South Carolina, North Carolina coast. Good snow into Atlanta, and these both have a little bit of snow into Atlanta and into Charlotte. This one disappears our snow. This one disappears a lot of our snow. This one is big snow, potentially into Atlanta, an inch into Charlotte, heavy snow along the coast, South Carolina, North Carolina. Same with this one. This one right here wants a foot of snow into the coastal North Carolina, South Carolina. So does this one. This one right here is about what we saw. This one right here is about what we saw. This one right here wants heavy snow, coastal North Carolina, South Carolina. Heavy snow. This one's about average. So these are all the data that we got for this run. This is everything it spits out, and what we get from that is our ensemble. So, but just to show you, there are some outcomes that may not be what I think, is the most realistic map, which is this from the National Weather Service. That only has an inch or 3 up the coast. Widely considered our best global forecasting model for snow, the Euro, has a ton of models that bring in a ton more snow here, and has some models that bring in snow here, accumulating snow. But they're more of outliers, which is why, so they can happen, but the chance is a little bit lower than this outcome happening. So I just want you guys to understand how this works. You should never look at like this and be like, that's what's going to happen. Dang it, I'm not going to get snow, or yes, I'm going to get 5 inches. Weather is very variable, and we understand snow is going to fall here. We know that. We can know where this snow is going to fall regionally. But down to a local level, this is, like I said, it's not static. Things are changing so quickly, they are not stopping for us to analyze it. That's why you constantly see changes and these algorithms spitting out different solutions. But again, this is kind of what I think right now is our most likely. But the new GFS is coming out, and if I continue to see a shift north, that's going to change some things. Wow. The new GFS wants a foot of snow just to the east of Lake Charles. What is going on, guys? We really shouldn't use this as a short-range model. Is this... Wow. Wants an inch and a half into Atlanta. 2 inches into Tallahassee. Wants 4 inches into Jacksonville. Throw this model away. Jacksonville, you're not getting 4 inches. I can't say that for certain, but I don't think so. Alyssa, Yali, Megan, Quat, Rebecca, Aiden. But what do we still see on this run? The snow to the north. An inch to a half inch to the north. Atlanta to Charlotte. Again, I disagree with that, but I do agree it's a possibility based on us having a much better snow ratio up here. So little showers passing through can accumulate quickly. I understand that. So you don't need as much precipitable water to fall on the north end of the system to accumulate as you do on the south end of the system. You need a lot more precipitable water to fall to get accumulation here, but a lot more is falling. I shouldn't have even showed you the latest GFS. That thing's going wild with snow, guys. And I quote, Jacksonville, you are not getting 4. Confused Blonde. If you live in Jacksonville and you get 4, you also get 4. You also get the right to yell at me in my inbox. My cousin, Molly, lives in Jacksonville. And earlier in the day, I said, you're only getting a dusting. The HRRR came out and said 3 inches. And I was like, I still think you're only getting a dusting, but now I'm more nervous saying that. And now the GFS is spitting out 4 inches. I still think your high end in Jacksonville's an inch. I you know what I mean? If I change with the models, I'm just like every other meteorologist or weatherman you see that just is like, I don't want to change with the models. I've made my decision. You guys want to know what I think? What I would do here? What I would actually do here? I would give you 2 to 3 in here. You know what? No, I wouldn't. Well, yes, I would. I would give you 2 to 3 in here. I'd give you 2 to 3 in here as well. Through this corridor, I have to expand this in this corridor. I have to expand it 1 to 4. I have to. Right here, including Jacksonville. No, I can't because Tallahassee. Gosh, this is so hard. This is so hard. Jacksonville, a dusting to 1. Tally and the rest of the Panhandle, I think 2 to 4 is what. It's tough because the Western Panhandle is going to see a lot. We'll split it here. 1 to 2. 2 to 3. Okay. 2 to 4. 5 to 6. 2 to 4. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Up here, Atlanta, I know you guys are wondering here. Up here, I would say a dusting to 1.5 is possible up through this whole stretch. Do you guys like my drawing? That's what I would do. I wish I could move these colors around manually. Durham. Let's see here. Yeah, Durham, North Carolina. Again, just because of your snow ratio, the problem is that band is probably going to flatten up. You're going to see a steeper snow line here than you do anywhere down here, I think, which is the problem for Durham, which means you're going to see an inch or two, or you're going to see nothing, not even flakes falling, because as this storm does move off the coast, it's gonna flatten like a pancake, and you're going to get a tighter snow line out here. That's the problem. We're going to see a little bit of snow flurries, and then it's going to flatten up. So we'll see. Aiden, I appreciate you, Rebecca. It's too dry in East Texas. Yes, it is too dry in East Texas, Nikki, and that's why a lot of the snow that's falling right now is not reaching the surface. Baton Rouge local weather, agree 5-6 here. We love it. That's what I was saying yesterday, too. Someone told me that they were projecting like 14. Someone told me like, the HER was showing 9 to 10. Listen, I've been solid in my 5 to 6 for you there in Louisiana. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It depends where you are, though. Remember, there's going to be areas in Louisiana that get 2. There's going to be areas in Louisiana that get 7 based on banding. The average through the region, I think, is going to be in there, 5 to 6. Through specifically, Lake Charles out to Baton Rouge, maybe down to New Orleans and west. Why is the live radar East Texas showing snow? Yes. So you guys can look at Radar Omega if you're on YouTube on the left side of the screen or the bottom of the screen on the ticket to talk. God, it disappears for 12 hours. I forget the name of it. You see, most of this is not reaching the surface. You guys have been very, very dry. There's a lot of snow evaporating. So, yeah, do you guys want to see what is falling? This is why I like the reflectivity. I know where it's cold enough for snow. Let's go to the reflectivity. Where you see that green, that's where it's actually probably reaching the surface. That is a lot more precipitable water. So where do I think it's actually falling? Somewhere in here, through here. This is probably mixing, but we're getting some mixing or snow down here. It's mixing most likely. You got some areas in here, some areas in here. This is what I'm talking about with banding, guys. I don't know if you can see that on TikTok very well, but this is what I'm talking about with banding. You have empty pocket. Look at all these empty pockets you have in here of no snow. Could the low pressure push it north when it comes into Georgia? I don't expect the low to suddenly shift to the north. I think what these models are seeing with the northern shift, especially like the latest GFS, is I think they're seeing they're treating the cold air and how deep the low is a little bit differently. So, how's our latest GFS? Wow, look at that. Let me actually zoom out for you guys on the latest GFS to show you what's going on. This is also a 12Z or 00Z GFS, so this will be interesting to see in general what it does moving forward. It does like Virginia Beach snow. In general, what it does moving... Ooh, a little snow into Iowa coming through, huh? In general, what it does moving forwards. So here's our latest GFS. Let me move this over so you guys can see this. Here's our late, and this is a 00. Like I try to explain to people, 00Zs are good. This is fresh weather balloon data. Your 6C and 18Z are just adjust it for time. So down here, here's our latest GFS. Wow, puts ice a little bit farther north. Yeah, There's actually a lot of flirt. Wow, there's a lot of. It's bringing potentially that snow line really far north into Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. You can see this crazy far north snow line on this now. This to me is a sign of a low pressure that's a little bit deeper than they expected it to be. So the pressure is dropping, and you're getting a little bit more of a pileup on the north side of that system. So this would be big totals into coastal North Carolina. I'm telling you right now. maybe even more than they're saying. But this is the GFS. We don't really want to use this as a short-range model. It's not really its specialty, but we do follow trends, and that is a trend that's occurring right now. So it's significant in that we've been seeing that trend, and it continues. I live in Raleigh. You just said it with confidence. I love the shift in Florence, South Carolina. Don, I appreciate you. Yeah, no, some people are going to like that shift. Passing very light flurries in Baton Rouge, now 37 degrees. Nice. Yeah, 37 degrees. And dropping, just a little bit. I mean, literally, guys, Baton Rouge, just here north, like 20 miles, it's like 32 degrees. These temperatures are going to start dropping rapidly. You can see your wind is shifting inland right now. You're starting to get southwesterly winds, so that's going to start to pile. That's going to really start to amp this up. You're below freezing down there in Mobile, Alabama. You can see where we think some precipitation is falling, or the heaviest precipitation is falling right now on here. Blue Ball and Jesse, I appreciate you guys. 585 new followers. That's crazy. I don't know if I hit 95K. I'm excited. I appreciate everyone who's followed us up. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I'm excited to hit 100K. I feel like I've been waiting for it forever, but I haven't been waiting forever. The channel's been growing good, but it's exciting. I don't know. It's exciting. Thank you guys. I've definitely been grinding. I've been doing this more than I should. Welcome back. We got hit good in PA. Any more snow? Caspi, I don't see anything. Holy crap. I just got like 100 followers. I said, thank you guys. Thank you. Seriously. It really does mean a lot to me. I'd love to do this full time eventually. So welcome back. Yeah, PA. So I don't expect, we do expect another winter storm before the end of January. There's model consensus on something passing through the Ohio Valley out into the mid-Atlantic. It's a little bit far. It's looking like, originally I was thinking more of the 26th to the 29th time frame. It's looking maybe more like 29th to the 31st. We are watching another system that potentially could drop another, half foot of snow somewhere out in the mid-Atlantic. So confidence on it is low just because we're still talking a little bit like a week away. But my confidence on another winter storm before January ends is high. Where that winter storm is low. I don't know. Alexis, the wax. Brian, I appreciate you. Thanks, Dan. Asked too early about nothing coming down in East Texas. Grobble falling in White House. Yeah. Yep, grapple. Lots of grapple. Remember the 3 Ps: pets, plants, and people. That's right, guys. Especially, yeah. Oh God, screw the people, right? Take your pets inside. It's way. I'm kidding. Obviously, don't screw the people, but get your pets inside. If you have a dog outside, if you got horses or something, guys, this is a once in a few decades type of cold, once in a century type of snow for a lot of you areas down here in the South. So you're not used to this. Neither are your pets. If you got any old folks that live by themselves, make sure they're aware of what's happening. Power is going to be lost in a lot of places, and it can get cold real quick. The wax, Brian Yali. Thank you, guys. Asked too early about nothing coming down in East. Oh, I already read that. New GFS is in. What do you think? Yeah, Connor Driver. We've been talking about it. I think we shouldn't use the GFS as a short-range model, but I do think it's interesting. It continues with the northerly trend. The trend is interesting. Please have an alternate heat source. Do not run generators indoors. See, this is why we need lake in here. Exactly. Do not run generators indoors. That's how you start fires. And if there's ice on the road, guess what? You might not get, and the pipes are frozen, you might not get any water in that fire. So keep your generators outdoors. And also, yeah, a lot of you guys don't use fuel down in the south for homes. A lot of people do that up north in older neighborhoods. But if you do use fuel for heating, you need to have some extra fuel. You still have a little bit of time. If Myrtle Beach overperforms, how much snow could we see? I mean, 4 inches if you get an overperformance there. Mead, I appreciate you. I think they will see snow further north in Georgia and North Carolina. Yeah, with the trend, it's definitely possible, Nikki. Looks like we are getting a tilt in the stream right before the southeast. Yep, maybe. So I hope. Yeah, you know. Let me see something here. Speaking of tilts, let me show you something. Zero zero Z. Let's go into our latest GFS. This is going to be helpful for us. Speaking of tilts, here's our system. All right. You can see right here. Yeah, wow, interesting. Yeah, I spoke about this in my video earlier today. We do start to see a tilt in our system right here in our vorticity, on our vorticity map. We go from positive to slightly negative. This is a little bit of a change. We really weren't seeing any tilt or really any notch earlier on with the system. And if this does negatively tilt at all, it can quickly change your snow totals here. It can quickly push more snow, more precipitation inland. Upstate South Carolina up to Charlotte, Atlanta, whatever. But this could also affect ice totals, which I'm worried about. So, but yeah, I do see that. It almost does look like it wants to go slightly negative. What happens, guys, when you get a system, when you get a trough and it's pushing down and it's positively tilted, you don't have a big temperature or gradient when it comes to if you have a steeper temperature gradient and you have a lot of cold air pushing against a lot of warm air, you get a lot of lift, you get a lot of convection, you get a lot of vorticity, you get a lot of spin in the atmosphere. You can get an actual, a low pressure system forming, deepening, strengthening. When it's positive, you don't really have that. Now you can have a dry and moist air boundary colliding. You can have a cold and a warm air boundary colliding that can help with these low pressure systems. But once you get to about a neutral tilt and that trough begins to dig in, really that cold air begins to dig into that warmer, more moist air typically out ahead of the system, you start to see a lot more lift out ahead of your storm. When you get a lot more lift out ahead of your storm, you're going to get more vorticity. You're going to see your totals, your wind increase, you're going to see your precipitation totals increase, and the more it tilts, the more intense it gets. Everyone's heard of a nor'easter. What's a nor'easter? It's an extremely negatively tilted trough that is just cranking in heat and moisture on the eastern side and pulling in sub-freezing temps on the western side. So it's just slamming in. You have a ton of lift, putting a ton of moisture up into the atmosphere, falling back onto cold air. And the more negative tilt you get, the more intense your low pressure system, the more intense your winter storm is going to be. So, seeing on the latest vorticity map, the system, instead of wanting to be kind of positively tilted, maybe a little bit of a negatively tilt, you could see why the latest GFS is saying, hey, we should watch to see if we're going to get bigger snow totals here, because we're going to have a lot more lift. We're going to have a lot more moisture over our head. If we start to see that tilt, we're going to see a lot more vorticity. We're going to see a deeper low pressure. So it's something to watch. I noticed it earlier in the day. That's why I put it. Did I put it in my video? I think it's in my video earlier in the day. I don't remember I think it is. It's historic snow. It's historic storm now, but can you imagine how big it would be if it had been tilted back to Texas? I know. It'd be huge. I know. Southwest Florida outlook, please. Yeah, sure. I was just I'm kind of covering the winter storm, but we can go take a look at Southwest Florida. Do. Let me get back here so we can see this. I mean, listen, let's just go to our quantitative precipitation real quick. You stay pretty dry in Southwest Florida compared to the rest of us. All right, cold and dry. Below average temperatures and dry. That's the easiest forecast I could have ever done. Let's go to our temperature anomalies down there in South Florida. Well below average in Southwest Florida for at least until next weekend. And you should see drier than average conditions as well. Now, you're going to see rain, but you're going to see moisture because you're in the subtropics. So you always get moisture in the subtropics, even when it's not forecast. How about West Virginia this upcoming weekend? Yeah, late in the weekend, pushing into Sunday and then into the next week and Monday, we could see another snow system winter storm moving through West Virginia. Could see. We have some interesting looks on that. DJ, I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Okay, wait, 1 second, guys. I need one more of these bad boys. I do want to take a look as this latest GFS unfolds because we're expecting some. Again, I want to see what happens with this last winter storm in January. All right, we're really getting this moisture cranking up here, guys. Let me look back at Radar Omega real quick. Let's take a look here. Killeen, nothing's fallen. What do we got going on down here? Not much. Sorry, I'm taking a look at some of these cams real quick. Mississippi. Okay. All right, 1 second, guys. Again, this is I would increase some of these snowfalls here, but All right. Southern Oregon clear. We can push up there real quick. With our latest GFS. I mean, yeah, you guys are dry for a while. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this weekend. There's some snow showers moving through. I don't think that's going to be low elevation snow. Although I will tell you this weekend you could see heavy snow in Utah and Colorado. Down into SoCal. Big Bear is going to want that snow. Potentially heavy snow into Arizona and New Mexico too. You guys should all be excited about this down there out west. Everyone out here should be excited because I think you're going to get some very wintry weather. What? I appreciate you. Wow, they're saying 13 degrees here Wednesday morning, Baton Rouge. Yeah, that's crazy. With none of the models 100% agreeing, I think the storm shifts north a little into Georgia. Austin, my question is, where do you live? Do you live just north of where it shows the snow falling? Tell me the truth. Something tells me you want the snow to shift north to you. I can kind of agree with you, though. I think that might happen, actually. I can kind of agree with you. Like 20 miles south. I knew it. You see? I knew it. But I do think you're right. We're seeing the trend, so I do think you're right. And Baton Rouge here, can't wait. Jeremy, you're going to have some fun. Hope he's right. I'm just to the south of Atlanta. Again, I don't know if we're going to see it. I expect some snow to shift a little bit farther north. Atlanta, I'm not going to change my. I still think high end an inch in Atlanta. High end. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you get more than that. What's the trend odds on northern shift? Well, we're already seeing models trend north, but again, the HRRR guys is trending south. That's like our best short range model should be. So, I know they're again on the odds. Yeah, I have a map that shows odds so that you guys can see that. Fill the gas tank just in case you get stranded. Exactly. Make sure all your devices are charged. Oh, yeah. Okay. Lake's always reminding me to stretch. I do need to stretch. 1 second, guys. Oh, my gosh. Ugh. Oh, my. I just heard my whole body crack. I wanted to go to the gym today, but then I would have been an hour late for stream. So you're welcome, guys. I'm getting fat for you guys. Oh my god. Thank you for the follows and stuff, guys. North Louisiana weather app says 2 inches of snow overnight. What? Not like north. I really quickly want to go back to our national blend. Do we have an update on that? Surface ice accumulation. Yeah, this area, by the way, guys. This could be the scariest part of the storm right here. Now, ice accumulation totals are down, but I'd expect this to actually go back up based on the trend of the GFS. Not the GFS, the trend of the NAM and the GFS combined. Okay. Snow totals. You can look at our national blend. You can look at our Euro ensemble. I have a hard time believing you're going to get 2 inches in northern Louisiana. Although what we're actively seeing on the radar is some systems, or we're seeing some bands way farther north than we originally thought. You guys can see a radar omega on the left in YouTube and on the bottom. So based on that, I do think we're already on radar seeing a shift to the north, seeing our precipitation field, I can't say that, shift to the north. So there is a little bit of credence to that, I think. You're right. I had to go check myself. So you're predicting more Midland Carolina snow. I'm saying there's a trend in the models for it. So it's definitely on the table. I can read a trend, that's for sure. You need an inversion table. Is that one that like stands up? I would love to be standing doing this right now. That's what I need. I need a standing desk. I would love. Oh God, I could be standing and walking on a treadmill while I do this. Pets, plants, people, guys. Remember about your pets, plants, and people. Keep them all alive, please. Think about them. Get your pets out. Get your pets inside. Don't get them out. Get your pets inside. If you know someone who lives by themselves, elderly or family, make sure they're prepared. And I don't know anything about plants, but tuck your plants in tonight. Give them a good kiss and tell them everything's gonna be all right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, I don't know anything about plants. Do not leave your pets outside. Yes, you can go to jail for that. Do you think the tilt will happen, causing more in Augusta, Georgia? I think that the neutral tilt is guaranteed. The question is, do we get a little bit of a negative tilt as this moves off the coast? That'll change some things. Atlanta, there's a little bit of a trend towards an inch, but I would still hesitate on that, though. I would still hesitate on that, but there's a trend towards a little bit more snow. Leaving my husky in South Carolina. Oh, yeah, huskies, leave them outside. If you got one of those big, but I question people who have huge huskies in the South. Come on, they hate that. But no, if you got one of those big huskies, it probably wants to be outside. But no, just be careful, seriously, guys. When does the power go out with snow and ice? In-depth answer, I understand ice on trees. Well, ice builds up on power lines. Florida, like where I grew up in Florida, after Hurricane Wilma knocked out our power for a month, they put all the power lines underground, so ice wouldn't do anything. But a lot of, especially these rural areas, don't have a great electric infrastructure. So literally a quarter of an inch of ice can just over the entire power line can weigh it down and can collapse these power lines. So some of these janky power lines as well will go down with too much snow because they're not built for it down here in the South. You know, up in the north they're built different, literally built different. So It's just all about accumulation totals in an area that's not supposed to see those accumulation totals. They don't engineer these things to withstand these type of elements. They're just built, like, literally built different. It's all about the weight of the snow and the ice. They're saying we are good in Birmingham. Yeah, I mean, right now it looks like you're not going to get anything in Birmingham, but we're seeing a little bit. On Radar Omega on the bottom right now, guys, on TikTok, and then again, if you're on YouTube, you can see it on the left side there. We're seeing some banding very far north in Louisiana right now, and that is making me wonder what we could potentially. That is making me think we could potentially have a little bit that this trend to the north. A lot of models are showing there could be something to it, so we're watching it. The high demand for power with this cold will crash the power grid as well. Exactly. Oh, exactly. Good point. It's 44 here in Minnesota, chilling on a lake right now. Oh, minus 44. I was about to say. Yeah, that's crazy. I believe it. You guys want to see something insane? Let's just quickly go up there. Let's take a look. Observations. This doesn't seem okay. These aren't wind chills. Okay, these are just actual temperatures, because wind chills are way colder than this. Wind chills are way colder than this right now. But you can see up here in northern Minnesota, your actual temperatures in some areas. I see a minus 29 degrees, negative 30. That's not your wind chill. That's just what it is outside. So that's brutal. That's brutal. I'm guessing your highs tomorrow are still in the negative, so probably for a couple days. Euro says 4 inches in Myrtle Beach. Does it? Is that what our last Euro says? 1 second. I didn't think our Euro said 4 into Myrtle, but you might be right. Let's go back. 18Z Kuchera. Euro 4 into Myrtle Beach. I see 3.5. Unless I'm looking in the wrong area. Yeah, I see 3.5 on the latest Euro. But I mean, it's close. Oh, maybe, yeah, a little bit up the coast. 4, yeah, yeah, maybe. I think again we got to wait a little bit based on these trends. I do think our snow totals we could outperform in that area, like I talked about before. Mezzo, yeah, well, right on cue. As I said, I think this is going to overperform. Look at the text I get. Matt, why do we agree on everything? I've been talking about that. We're seeing a little bit more of a tilt. We're seeing trends with the snow with our precipitation field shifting north, and I don't think that's because our pathing of our low or our system is moving north. I think that's because this storm is intensifying, and that's the trend. Literally, as I said it, look at the text I get. Hold up. Focus. Great minds think alike. Yeah, I think he's right, guys. Not going to overperform for everyone, but yeah, we're seeing. This is what I talked about in my stream yesterday. If we're going to see snow shift farther north, it's going to be because we have a more of a neutral to a negative tilt. We're seeing a deepening low pressure, which is still a possibility, especially with when you have the center of your low moving over an ocean and a Gulf, the Gulf of America, especially when you have that happening. I think it's more likely to happen in that situation. At least your precipitation, you have so much access to all of this moisture. Seeing that precipitation field move farther inland has always been a real possibility. We're seeing it in the trends. I talked about it in yesterday's stream and the stream before that I thought we'd see this snow line shift north over and over and over again, and I'm glad I'm not going to look, well, we'll see. I'm hoping, and I'm glad I'm not going to look like a dummy. But, hey, if you guys were in my streams the last 2 days, I was saying that. I was saying it. When is the Northeast getting their storm? Well, we might have another system up in the Northeast in the beginning of next week. Might. Too far out. I don't want to give we have a signal for a storm in the beginning of next week again up in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast. They're delaying schools in North Alabama for 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Because of the temperatures. Mm-hmm. My cousin Lafayette. I'm jealous. Oh yeah, I know, right? They're gonna get some good snow. Are you staying up for the Euro? Unfortunately, I have to be in the office. It takes about an hour and a half to get to work driving, and I have to be in the office at like 6, 7 in the morning. So, again, appreciate the subs and follows. Get me one step closer to doing this full time. Because I will be streaming. I will be doing this 10 hours a day once I do it full time. Having bad weather? Yeah, Julie, are you having a bad time? Guys, Julie is having a bad time, and I'll show you why. We're not going to dox her, but Julie's south of Buffalo. And Julie is having a bad time. They're having thunder snow currently right in this region, south of Buffalo. And I don't know, you might be getting 3 inches an hour right now, Julie. Something crazy like that. I'm about to go get on. I'll be on all night. Guys, Mesomat's going to be on all night. He'll be on after I get off. MESOMATT if you want to give him a follow. And he'll be covering. He is really smart. He gets this stuff, guys. Trust me. And he'll be covering this after I get off. So as the latest Euro and all that stuff comes on. MESOMATT, Mesomat. Atlanta. Yeah, well, with this trend to the north, again, I still think Atlanta, the high end is 1 inch, but we're going to see over performances, so we'll see. I mean, I think the high end's like 2, 3 in Atlanta, but I think it's real. The realistic is a dusting to 1 inch. How many inches for Houston? I've been solid on saying, what have I been saying, guys? 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 2 to 3. I still think I'm solid on 2 to 3, but yeah. It's tough. It's tough look. You know, the Euro was saying yesterday like 7 inches, and I laughed at it. So, but if you guys get 7 inches, I'll be happy for you. I really hope places are not caught with their pants down. It's looking like a wild card. It is. They have canceled school tomorrow in North Metro Atlanta. Wow, it's pretty far up to cancel schools, but yeah, with this northern trend, maybe it's a smart move. Jacksonville, our best short range model still wants to put. And our GFS still each want to put like 3 inches of snow to 4 inches of snow in Jacksonville. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if Jacksonville gets an overperformance, it's going to see 1 inch. And I hope it does. I have a cousin there who really wants it to snow. So shout out Molly. How many inches for Raleigh? None right now. Your high end looks like you could get up to 1 inch or 2 if we see this trend north, and if we see this trend north and this overperformance kind of look continue. Mezzo, I love you. Thank you. Julie, I appreciate you. Brittany, Natalie, Quat. Thank you, guys. I do really quickly want to go and look up what are our temps up? What are our temps right now in Buffalo? 0 degrees. Solid. Reflectivity. Oof. Look at that. This is when you see the heaviest snow. Oh my gosh. You guys are getting insane snow up there. Kids have no school tomorrow. Yeah. Awesome, Julie. Yeah, that would be I can't imagine they'd make kids go to school tomorrow based on what's going through Southern Buffalo right now. That'd be brutal. How about OKC? You guys aren't expecting much, but very cold temperatures for a little bit here. Oh, we can go through, actually. Our latest GFS is almost, or a little bit over half fully loaded. So if you guys want to see what we're looking at a little bit ahead, based on at least a 00Z model, which is a good model. I mean, which is a good run. Not a good model. Here we go. Here's some lake effects still going on up there. Possibly a little clipper system moving through the Central Plains. We get some snow back right here as we push into the weekend. A lot of snow back into the mountains, into the Rockies, and into SoCal, and into Arizona, New Mexico potentially. So some cold air troughing out there. Here we go. Look at that. See that, guys? I know a lot of people up in the Midwest want more snow. This would be your snow. St. Louis, Ohio Valley, Philly, New York, Northeast. That's snow for everyone. And then look what's right behind it on the GFS. Don't you think that's interesting, guys? Don't you think this is interesting? Snow. Snow again. We'll see. I think one of these is going to happen. I don't think both. I think this one. I think we could see something like this for more snow out east. That second one that wants to bring more southern snow. Not sold on it yet, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Talk about that a little bit later. Can you talk about the Northeast, South Carolina? When you get a chance. I feel like there is no Northeast, South Carolina. Because this is east, but this is central. But then this is north, but this is central. But then you could say this is, I guess, northeast. The way the state's laid out. So if you're talking about like up here, yeah, I mean, coastal, you could see, if you get an overperformance, you'll see 2 to 3, and you could see an inch move pretty far inland up here. So they cancel schools when it's in the in negative 10s up north. Yeah, Nikki. Yeah. Cold. They get a lot more schools canceled apparently up there from temperatures than even from snow, especially up in like Minnesota, Minnesota, a lot of those northern plain states. Yali, I appreciate you. Give me 1 second, guys. Wow. So, yeah, Meza was saying it looks like Matt's saying it looks like we're about 6 hours ahead of schedule on some of this snow, guys. This would be a sign of an overperformance for sure. Wow. Yeah, feels like in Minneapolis right now is negative 30, guys. About negative 30. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Jackson, Mississippi. I wish I didn't have to go to work tomorrow. No fair. We actually have some cams in Jackson, Mississippi right now. God, it does look like you're getting some good snow in northern Louisiana right now. Interesting. Let me go over to winter weather. Yeah, most of this isn't falling or reaching the ground. 1 second, guys. Jackson, Mississippi, you want this trend north as well. Obviously, right now, they have your high end is like a ½ inch to an inch. We have a little bit of snow falling up here right now, and the NWS didn't want any. So again, there's an interest. This is interesting how this is playing out. We have a lot of time though. You're going to see this area fill in. You're going to see the snow in here fill in. Trust me. As the storm moves off in this direction, you're going to see the back end and moisture fill in here. But it's really interesting how this is currently playing out. Brooklyn, I appreciate you. Any chance it moves a touch north to bring more snow into Augusta, Georgia? Yeah, that's what we've been talking about. There is a chance for that. There is a chance for that. Do we have? Here's our. Look at this NAM. Look at our NAM 3K. Look at that. See that shift north? I don't. This wants to put 4 inches into Atlanta. Again, I don't think that's going to happen. But you know, our O3Z HRRR still wants up to 10 inches somewhere down here. I mean, wants like 8 inches into New Orleans. You can see what it's doing out here, though, now. This is interesting. The HRRR, and I can already tell right here, is shifting north. Look at that. 1 second. Let me check something real quick. It kind of did it in this one, too, but then it pulls back down to the south. Let me pull up. We have a new national blend here. National blend. How is this compared to our last one? It's a shift north, I think. It is. It's a shift north. Slight shift north over there. You guys can see in this sector, if you watch here, this is our latest national blend taking all the models. If you watch there, here's our old one, right? Here's our new one. Ready? See that? See that bump to the north? So we'll see. You're in play if you're up here, you know? I do think you're also in play, even though you don't see it, if you're here, only because of what's playing out right now on the radar. So Baby Bear, I appreciate you. What could the early overperformance mean for Central Gulf Coast? Gulfport. It's a panhandle. It could mean another inch or two. It's not going to mean anything insane, but it could mean another inch or two. Which is good for the South. So, timeline for Georgia. I guess it depends where you are in Georgia, but we're going to see snow. We're going to start to see the most decent snow probably moving in tomorrow afternoon around 12 o'clock. This is our latest national blend right here. Of all the models. Anything on my college town, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I'm sucking up Hattiesburg. Let's see. I mean, yeah. You guys could get 4 inches on the high end if we do continue to see an overperformance. I'd still expect I'd still put you in the 1 to 3 area, but it's interesting how this is playing out right now. There is some good banding that's starting to move in down here to the south. This is going to begin to enhance now as well. I'm on Radar Omega down there if you can't see where I'm writing. So there's some good banding that's moving in right down here currently. That's just offshore. And then y'all calm down. Y'all got it last week. Auburn did not. I know. They're getting greedy now. They're like, Atlanta hadn't seen snow in like 8 years, and now it's been like a week, and they're like, we want more. I just love the video I put out on December 28th saying I thought there was going to be multiple snowstorms in January, and all the people who live in Atlanta and Georgia who said this was absolutely not going to happen, impossible, we haven't seen it in 8 years, we're never going to see snow again. I almost hope you guys get more snow from this, just so I can go back into the comments and laugh at you. I'm just kidding. You keep saying the radar is showing something interesting. What do you mean? Well, here's what I mean. Let's go to our radar. Where does our... Let me see if I can get you a better looking radar. This is not better looking. What the heck, Wendy? I don't want to show you what's snow and what's rain because those types of radars are going to show snow. Like if you were to look at and I'll show you right now at Radar Omega at the bottom of TikTok or on the left side of YouTube, and I were to show you the winter weather radar, you would think it's snowing everywhere. You see all that blue, but it's not. It's not. But I'll keep it on for now. Where we're actually getting snow is where you see these kind of heavier, really, really bright green bands, or where we're getting precipitation. So this might not be snow. This might be mixing. But, through areas like this, all the clouds, even here, we're not really getting much. We're probably getting some through here, some through here. So, but what's interesting about this is all of this up here, because all of your models wanted to squish snow down here to the south and really not let a lot of that precipitation get north. But what this is showing me, now a lot of this is evaporating, but some of it isn't. What this is showing me is we're already getting a little bit of, we're gonna over exceed our totals slightly to the north where we weren't expecting it in the beginning. Snow has arrived earlier as well. So it's arrived earlier. It's a little bit farther to the north already. And this is going to continue as we move out to the east. Again, though, I'd be cautious of thinking that this is just a bunch of snow falling. A lot of this isn't hitting the surface. Your really brighter greens are. So how I like to look at it is, here, I'll just show you like this. This is a good radar to look at it. I'll show you like this. I don't want to dox myself, so 1 second. 1 second. Hold up. Hold up. Nope. There we go. Hold up so I don't dox myself real quick. Okay, here we go. I don't want the winter radar. All right, I'll put this back on. I'll show you on Radar Omega what I'm talking about. Because that's the best way to show you. Can you guys see Radar Omega down at the bottom? Can you see it? I'm going to get in real quick. So what our winter weather radar is showing is all of these clouds and all of this stuff is falling as snow. Where it's going to fall is actually where you see these greens, more likely. This banding. This stuff is reaching the surface. This stuff is likely not evaporating. So, but we have some of that up here to the north, around Shreveport, around Monroe, around Alexandria. This is already farther to the north and is ahead of schedule for this system. So you kind of got all the, alarms blaring now, like, something's going wrong, something's going wrong, something's going wrong. Models weren't accurate about some of this. So with that, I think your global 00Z, your GFS 00Z just accounted for that, which is why we see shifts to the north. You know what I'm saying, guys? So that's what's going on. I wonder if they're gonna. The NWS usually won't adjust this too much live, but they might. They're not going to. We'll stay here for now. You can't see it? Oh my gosh. Tell me if you can see it now. Can you guys see the screen now? Oh, you know what? There you go. There you go. Can you guys see it now? Yes, you can. The virtual camera got shut off. Oh my gosh. All right, I'll show you that again real quick because it's important. Here you go, guys. I'm showing Radar Omega at the bottom. When I zoom in here, you see all these white clouds? When you look at a winter weather radar, it wants all of this to be snow falling and hitting the surface. Can you see that at the bottom? I know your chat's down there. All the white clouds, your winter weather radar is going to want all that. It's going to show up as snow, and a lot of you are under that snow on the winter weather radar, and you're like, it's not snowing. Because it's snowing where your heavier precipitation bands are. Where this green is. These are heavier precipitation bands. And we see some up near Shreveport, Alexandria. That's what I'm trying to show you. So, but again, we had most of our models thinking we're not going to get any of this precipitation north of Alexandria. Those are already a little bit off. God, how embarrassing. That's funny. That's funny. Everyone on YouTube's like, what? We could see it. Because on YouTube, I'm not using a virtual camera. This system is crazy. That's right, Yali. If it overperforms early, will that bring a lot more snow into Myrtle Beach, South Carolina? Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes. I think you guys are depending a little bit more on the tilt as it moves off the coast, but potentially, yes. How are we looking for the Appalachians the next week or two? Listen, there is another winter storm that's likely going to push through the east. Location, it's over a week. I'm not going to give you a location. I think it's the most accurate Ohio Valley up into the mid-Atlantic, but some models want to bring it farther south. There's a potential it gets far enough south next week to bring some snow back into Appalachia. After that, we're going to warm up for a couple weeks in February. I posted a video on my February outlook that will explain everything that I think is going to happen in February. Can you show Iowa and tell me your opinion on winter storms for it? Yeah, I said in the video I posted today, I talk about that as well. Early February, late January potentially, but early February, I think we might have a system or two that wants to move up through the Central Plains up into the Midwest. So that's what we're watching. You can see on the latest GFS what it wants to do. You know, as we get out right here, potentially we get a clipper into Iowa, and then later on, let me show you. Let me go back here, so we can see out further. We're gonna get our jet stream. Our jet stream's gonna switch. Our jet stream, it's gonna flip. We're gonna be looking at more of a positive VPO, whatever you want to call it. Negative PNA. And we're going to get our jet stream setting up like this. We're going to get more ridging out here in the east. We're going to get more troughing out here in the west. And you're going to have storms riding this jet stream for a while, I think, at the beginning of February. So that's going to enhance your chances through the Central Plains, Northern Plains, up through the Midwest. It is. Iowa, early February could be your time to shine. You have one opportunity. Don't slip. Silly question. But does it only snow when there are snowstorms? Well, I don't consider all snow falling a storm. That's what like clippers are. Clippers are like there's moisture in the air, and you know I would consider a snowstorm a deepening low pressure system. The intensity of it. Snowstorm is usually associated on the front end of a trough with a pretty steep variation, pretty steep gradient in air boundaries. That's quickly deepening a low. So, something like this would be a snowstorm, but you get clippers through them, especially people up in the northern plains. You just get random snow showers all the time during the day, just passing moisture. I don't know. That's just a snow shower, not a snowstorm. Are you 100% on those snow amounts on North Carolina coast? Well, no one's 100% on any of this. That's the problem. We have models completely disagreeing over here. Like I said, if I had to, and I hate doing this because someone's going to clip this and yell at me. If I had to, I would say 2 to 3 really through here is the most likely. And you could see a dusting to an inch all the way up here. And if I had to... Again, yeah, I mean, that's what I would say for the Carolinas. But with how this storm is unfolding right now and with the overperformance we look like we may had, I would say your high end is going to be like 5 inches here. Or like 4, like 5, and then potentially 4 up here. Like if you were to see an overperformance. Yeah, ice and sleet update. The only place we're really, really worried about significant ice is Savannah. Down here to just east of Tallahassee. And then over to Jacksonville. This area right here has been our constant concern. Ooh, had to really drag it over. Has been our constant concern for ice. It still doesn't look that dangerous, but I mean, I think anyone really on the I-10 corridor right here needs to really prepare. And then up towards Savannah. Luna, Vanessa, Yali, Brooke, Samantha. I appreciate you guys. Appalachians overperformed yesterday. Got 5 to 6. Mac. Isn't that what I said you guys would get? No, I didn't. Well, yeah, I think that's what I said you guys could get. I could be wrong. I would say that is an overperformance based on our models. You're right. Something is going to happen Northeast 28th. Yeah, I said, or I think originally like the 26th to the 29th. I think it might happen. It might actually still happen in that time frame. I told you, T-Dub. I told you we were seeing a quick dip, one more quick dip in our EPO, Eastern Pacific Oscillation, which and about a neutral to slightly positive NAO. It's just the right kind of. And our jet stream placement. I mean, it looked right for one more winter storm. And our models are starting to reflect it now. That's right. Heck yeah. What is that radar called? Radar Omega. Yeah. Now, I'm not showing the... It was so cold the ratio was pretty high. Yeah, Mac. Yep. That's what happens. You probably only had like a tenth of precipitable waterfall, and it turns into like 5-6 inches because you have such a high ratio. So the reason guys, watch what happens when I turn the radar on the bottom, or if you're on YouTube on the left to winter weather. Suddenly it's snowing for everyone, but it's not snowing for everyone. So now you can look at this, and where you see the heavier bands, this is likely snow. This is likely snow reaching the ground. Shreveport. Is anyone in Shreveport? I swear, south and east of Shreveport has been getting a lot of snow. This is likely snow reaching the ground. There's snow reaching the ground just to the south and west of Jackson right now. I think Lafayette's getting mixing. I think Houston's getting a lot of mixing right now. Just to the east of San Antonio and the northeast of San Antonio, it looks like there are some heavy snow bands. San Antonio, if you guys could have just relocated like 50 miles to the east, you guys would be getting a ton of snow, I think, right now. Although this is tough to say because I do think some of these bands are putting snow down there. Okay. With the northern trend, how far could this bring big snow up towards Atlanta? If you, yeah, I mean, like, you could see like a super high, super. Let me put you in what our NWS thinks on the high end. Our NWS on the high end, Atlanta thinks 2 inches, 1 to 2. I think your high end in Atlanta could be 2 to 3, but like that's less than a 10% chance of happening. They put out this they put this out though before I think the northern trend really started to kick in again. Dana and Poppy, what's going on? Sonia, I appreciate you guys. Houston, I'm still sticking with 2 to 3. I hope you guys overperform. Yellow area is more closer to 6 inches. 5 to 6. Well, I mean, they have 5 to 7 in here, but they have 5 to 7 in here. I think 5 to 6. What's the updated ARRR totals look like? Coastal North Carolina. Oh, man, my neck. ARRR. Let's go. I mean, the 0-0-Z is the best one we can look at for this right now. Here you go. 2 to 3 inches on the latest ARRR, but it's doing wacky things down here. I mean, it wants like 5 inches into Jacksonville. Like, I don't know about all that. It's hard for these models to do snow down in the south because it's so rare. They're just not used to it. It's good. They need some practice. You know what I mean? This is good practice for these models. I'm praying to wake up to random snow in Texarkana so I don't have to go to work. Not a complete impossibility. Ugh. I got to get off here in a little bit. I think I'm going to get off and do a sub-only chat on TikTok for 15 minutes because I want to at least be able to answer some of those questions. I released a video on this today and an outlook for February. I will be putting out another video, but I got to work all day tomorrow. My video tomorrow is probably going to be around 5 or 6 o'clock. I wish I could cover this during the day tomorrow. One day I'll be doing this full time because of you guys. And I really appreciate all you. Anyone who subbed, anyone who followed, anyone who gifted. Thank you, everyone. Anyone who was just in here engaging. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go do a sub-only chat on TikTok just for a little bit. And I'll be back live streaming tomorrow. And I'll be probably posting updates on like my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if we continue to see model trends and what I think. So yeah, and a lot of you have questions that I kind of answered in the video I posted on my TikTok today too about the possibility of this northern trend type of stuff like that if you want to see that. But you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna get off for a second. In like 2 minutes I'll be back on for sub-only chat stream on TikTok, but anyone can get in it. It's just a sub-only chat.